Good evening and welcome to International Mr. Leather 2000. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage your contestants for this evening's competition. Contestant number 1, Mr. Northwood, Rick Sullivan. Contestant number 2, Bob Thunder, Mr. Maryland Leather, sponsored by Command MC of Baltimore, Maryland. Contestant number 3, Steve Duval, Mr. Fort Lauderdale Eagle, sponsored by the Fort Lauderdale Eagle of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Contestant number 4, Tony Frazier, Mr. Eagle PDX, sponsored by the Eagle, Portland, Oregon. Contestant number 5, Jimmy Lee Murray, Mr. North Atlantic, sponsored by the Utica Tribes MC, Network, Positive Action, and from Utica, New York. Contestant number 6, Ken Allen, Mr. 501 Eagle, sponsored by the 501 Eagle Club, Indianapolis, Indiana. Contestant number 7, T.C. Haskins. He's Mr. Triangle Leather, sponsored by the Triangle of Denver, Colorado. Contestant number 8, Peyton Roberts, Mr. Leather Montreal, sponsored by MC Falcon, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Contestant number 9, Doug Bedard, Mr. Beltline Leather, sponsored by the Beltline Bar of Los Angeles, California. Contestant number 10, Todd Crutchfield, Mr. South Texas Leather, sponsored by the Archangel, San Antonio, Texas. Contestant number 11, Ted Keeter, Mr. Bullet Leather, sponsored by the Bullet Bar, North Hollywood, California. Contestant number 12, Hutty Malinowski, Mr. Baltimore Eagle, sponsored by the Baltimore Eagle, Baltimore, Maryland. Contestant number 13, Joe Barnett, representing Dublin, Ireland. Contestant number 14, Bruce Tidwell, Mr. Atlanta Eagle, sponsored by the Atlanta Eagle in Atlanta, Georgia. Contestant number 15, Terrell Brown, Oklahoma Mr. Leather, sponsored by the Tulsa Uniform and Leather Singers Association of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Contestant number 16, John Rossi, Mr. Leather, Western Michigan, sponsored by Family Wear Brothers Maiden Club, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Contestant number 17, Contestant number 26, Bob Puppy Petter. Mr. Boston Leather, sponsored by CRT Associates, Boston, Massachusetts. Contestant number 27, Craig West. Mr. Oregon Leather, sponsored by Blackout Leather Productions of Portland, Oregon. Contestant number 28, Jeff Waka, Mr. Los Angeles Leather, sponsored by the Los Angeles Leather Coalition, Los Angeles, California. Contestant number 29, Silver Wolf, Mr. Stage Door Leather, sponsored by the Stage Door Lounge, Brotherhood of Bears Incorporated, from Dayton, Ohio. Contestant number 30, Tim Kraft, Mr. Wisconsin Leatherman, sponsored by the Wisconsin Leatherman Productions, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Contestant number 31, Chris Chapin, Mr. Palm Springs Leather, sponsored by Palm Springs Leather, Order of the Desert, Palm Springs, California. Contestant number 32, John Blake, Mr. British Columbia Leather, sponsored by Q2 Productions, Vancouver, British Columbia. Contestant number 43, Rob Edmund, Mr. Daddy's Leather, sponsored by Daddy's Bar in San Francisco, California. Contestant number 34, Bob Hancock, Gotham Leatherman, sponsored by GMSMA and Petticoat Finish Leather, New York City, New York. Contestant number 35, Mark Ingham, Mr. Alameda County Leather, sponsored by Alameda County Leather Corp of Castro Valley, California. Contestant number 36, Mike Taylor, Mr. Heartland Leather, sponsored by the Heartland Leather Productions, Charleston Leather, Columbus, Ohio. Contestant number 37, Gary Van Deventer, Mr. DC Eagles, sponsored by the Washington, D.C. Eagle, located in Washington, D.C. Contestant number 38, Harriet Robinson, Mr. Ebony Leather, sponsored by Kane Leather and Ebony Leather Productions, New York City, New York. Contestant number 39, Stan Harrell, the Master of Leather, sponsored by Leather Alternative. Contestant number 40, Terry Brown, Mr. Dixie Bell Leather, sponsored by the URL Southwest, the Casey Pioneers Leather Shop, Kansas City, Missouri. Contestant number 41, Anthony Verdames, Mr. Padlock Leather, sponsored by the Padlock and Tough Stuff Leatherware of Phoenix, Arizona. Contestant number 42, Ron Grigsby, Santa Clara County Mr. Leather, sponsored by the Santa Clara County Leather Association, San Jose, California. Contestant number 43, Howard Howe, Mr. Leather, Ottawa Hall, sponsored by the Ottawa Knights, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Contestant number 44, Robert Good, Mr. Texas Leather, sponsored by the Dallas Eagle, Dallas, Texas. Contestant number 45, Chuck Lance, Mr. Louisiana Leather, sponsored by the Lords of Leather of New Orleans, Louisiana. Contestant number 46, John Painenberg, Mr. Leather Holland, sponsored by Mr. Leather Holland, Club Hot Paint, Club Trash, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Contestant number 47, Scott Blue, Mr. Pistons Leather, sponsored by Pistons of Long Beach, California. Contestant number 48, Charlie Baker's Seattle Mr. Leather, sponsored by Generic Leather Productions in Washington, Seattle, Washington. Contestant number 49, Randy Modal, Mr. Salt Lake City Leather, sponsored by Club Blue of Salt Lake City, Utah. Contestant number 50, Kevin Clancy, the Snellbrook Male High Leather Net, sponsored by Snellbrook and Male High Leathers, Chicago, Illinois. Contestant number 51, Vim Clemens. He's Mr. Boots Leather, sponsored by the Boots of Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Contestant number 52, Tom Sibbleman, Mr. Leather, Colorado, sponsored by High Plains Leather and Pikes Peak Summit Masters from Calhoun and Colorado Springs. Contestant number 53, Mark Frazier. He's Mr. Dallas Leather and he's sponsored by Shady Gray of Dallas, Texas. Contestant number 54, Tom Robinson, Mr. Mid-Atlantic Leather, sponsored by the Centaur Motorcycle Club, Washington, D.C. Contestant number 55, Gary Hummel. He's Mr. Missouri Leather, and he's sponsored by Gateway MC and Farwater Leather from St. Louis, Missouri. Contestant number 56, Bruce Starr, Washington State Mr. Leather, sponsored by the Washington State Mr. Leather Organization, Seattle, Washington. Contestant number 57, Esteban de Castro. He's Mr. Leatherman Toronto, sponsored by Mr. Leatherman Toronto Competition Incorporated, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Contestant number 58, Mark Chipman, Mr. San Diego Leather, sponsored by the San Diego Leather Contest, San Diego, California. Contestant number 59, David Daniels, Mr. Detroit Eagle, sponsored by the Detroit Eagles of Detroit, Michigan. Contestant number 60, Lance Gear, Mr. San Francisco Leather, sponsored by Mr. San Francisco Leather and Titan Media, San Francisco, California. Contestant number 61, Dwayne Rader, Mr. Ozarks Leather. He's sponsored by Mr. Ozarks Leather Republic, Missouri. And contestant number 62, Bob Miller, Mr. Edge Leather, sponsored by the Edge Bar, San Francisco, California. And now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. These are your contestants for this evening's competition. Let's give them all a big round of applause.
Please welcome the founder of International Mr. Leather, Chuck Rensman.
little lighter, we'll be all right. All right, welcome to the annual meeting of the Leather Tribe. You having fun yet? It's also the 22nd IML. This is indeed the high holy days of the leather community. This week has grown from a leather contest to an important gathering of our brotherhood. The meetings, the contacts, the work, the networking that is transacted here has become an integral part of the leather fraternity. We have grown to be a major force in the fetish lifestyle. With this coincidence comes responsibility. Here in the States, we have an important election coming up. The next political party will most likely appoint judges to our Supreme Court. We must see to it. We must use our power to make sure that the next court is attuned to our needs. Believe me, the Republican religious right would love to see us annihilated. That's not going to happen. You, me, all of us, we can make a difference. Get out in your communities and work. Just don't listen to what I'm talking to tonight. Go in one ear and out the other. Get back out there and work, because we can do it. Support the candidates of your choice. We are a force to be reckoned with. This applies to our friends from other countries, too. Support those who support you. And I can assure you, we get out there to work, and get our friends to work, and go back to our communities. We will succeed. The power of leather will triumph, I promise you. And incidentally, oh yeah, while you're out there doing all this, don't forget to have fun, because that's life. That's all about. And now let's kind of get back to the fun part, all right? On with the show!
And now, your MCs for this evening, Frank Kowicki and Tom Stice.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 22nd Annual International Mr. Leather Competition. So what do you think of these contestants in this opening number? It's such a great evening today, especially tonight. I'm with a very good friend of mine. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Tom Stice. Let's give Tom a great round of applause.
Wasn't the opening number sexy? It kind of reminded you of a few minutes in the lobby of the Congress Hotel. And looking at all of you tonight, I can tell that I thought the Congress was a great place to cruise, but I think the best place to cruise tonight is right here. And I noticed that Frank is wearing some serious jewelry tonight.
And you know, the Cartier of the leather community, John Ponce, always gives us some pretty little baubles to wear every night. And I'm sure you have some pretty little baubles under those gloves now, don't you? Come on.
Well, Frank, I would love to show everybody the baubles under my gloves, but with the model that I met last night, please meet me backstage after this is over.
Speaking of that opening number, we need to thank a wonderful group of men, the guys who Male Hide Leathers. They're the ones who donated all the leather outfits for the dancers in the opening number. So let's give Male Hide a nice round of applause. There's a gentleman out in front of the lobby that's setting up. His name's Rick Avila. He takes great pictures, so you can all get your memento pictures done in the lobby out in front. So let's give Rick a nice round of applause. think we're ready to see the show. What do you say? Oh, there you go. I know that. Watch out for these mics. They're scary. So come on, and let's bring to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to bring to the stage somebody that's no stranger to the IML stage. He's a gentleman, he's a friend, he's a humanitarian, he's an activist, he's a PWA, he's a world traveler, he's a daddy, he's a sister.
Well, most of the year, this Leatherman considers himself to be just another bottom. But every May, he connects with his inner sadist to put the IML contestants through their paces. Please welcome, for the 9th year as International Mr. Leather's Chief Judge, the one and only Mr. Tom Domkowski. Let's give Tom a nice round of applause.
It's an honor to be here again. This is my 20th International Mr. Leather weekend, and in a few weeks I'll celebrate my 50th birthday. I guess Lady English was right. Old age is for sissies.
Shut up!
It's been another cathartic year in the judging panel, and a number of us took a while to get prepared for it. I want to thank a number of people that helped me get prepared for it this past year and things they did for me. It really started last year in September when the Lords of Leather had me down for their contest, and that set the whole tone for the whole year. They are dynamite hosts. And I got a lively American Brotherhood weekend too. We were joking that unofficial preliminary interviews took place in the lobby hotel in Washington, and they will again next year. And they are also very congenial hosts. The men had the biggest impact on me in the last year getting ready for this, proving old dogs can learn new tricks, is the one and only Joe Gallagher. It's Joe's mother page, but all the postings every week and all the connections to all the sites that gave me like 2 phone books of information on all these contestants. And we really did put them through their paces this year. This is probably the first time we didn't waste a lot of time on leather trivia, a lot of history questions, a lot of garbage. We spent approximately 17 hours with 62 incredible men, looking into their minds, looking into their hearts, looking into their souls. They all belong here. And that's a credit to all of us as to where we've come. So they all deserve it. As to when the change in the century came, when the millennium changed, December 31st last year, December 31st is coming here. Well, I thought about it this morning, went for a walk in the park, I said, the dawn of the new millennium starts here in this theater tonight with us. I'm thrilled, ecstatic to introduce this panel of judges who spent the last century helping us get across the bridge. And tonight these guys are dynamite, and the one lady, she was like the Paula lady, is dynamite too. From San Francisco, California, what is there left to say about our Judge Emeritus? He has been a part of our community for so long that I really think it was Marcus that suggested to God in the first place that he actually create the house so we can enjoy living. The esteemed columnist for the Bay Area Reporter, the one, the only, Mr. Marcus Hernandez. From Washington, D.C., he is retiring to Costa Rica this year after a long career with the FDIC. He is one of 4 judges on this panel who is celebrating his 50th birthday this year. Piercer, sign language interpreter, family man extraordinaire, the one, the only Lager Valentine. Born right here in Chicago, Illinois, another of our birthday boys, Chuck Breslow was the one who described him in the program as a leather icon. He wanted to have a little teardrop put onto his under his eye. His roots go back to the heyday of the Gold Coast at 501 North Clark Street. And having seen the contestants this year and the audience members, I know a lot of you remember the heyday of the Gold Coast on North Clark Street. By day, he now monitors budgets for the HIV service providers of the Department of Health, and on weekends, he's that friendly face behind the counter at Mail Heights by myself, my best friend in the whole world, Jim Gore. Also from San Francisco, California, is the fourth of our half-centenarians, a retired Texas oilman, an incredible survivor, the owner of the first red hanky ever created, the first international Mr. Leather, and still the best-looking one of them all, Mr. David Lewis. She ultimately described herself as a professional sadist or just a kid, as she wore a skirt for me tonight. An entrepreneur, businesswoman, the owner and producer of the International Miss Leather Contest. She's taking it on the road to Toronto, Canada this July. Life's journey took him across the Atlantic, where he has put those skills to good use as the very hospitable owner of Europe's friendliest leather bar, the Argos. In my mind, he is one of the most enjoyable, delightful, and hottest men on the planet, and Eduardo Bottega Curiado. Community leader, and after many years, he is now single, riding a hog, and ready for some life changes. As 1991 Mr. Drummer, he's the most eloquent man ever to hold a leather title anywhere in the world. The one and only silver-tongued Mr. Woody Emo. He's the gentleman whose year has given new meaning to the word teamwork. And anytime I think of Bruce Chopnik, I am going to think of teamwork. He's opened his heart, his imagination, his spirit to embrace leather folk everywhere he traveled. And he's the one to start his successor on that journey across the ephemeral bridge to the 21st century, International Mr. Leather 1999, a man I fall in love with, Mr. Bruce Chopnik.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to bring to the stage this next gentleman. He's an officer of the Men of Discipline. He was newly elected to the board for the Leather Archives and Museum. He is the media director for the National Coalition for Sexual Freedom. Join me in welcoming Randy Brown.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, in my opinion, the greatest leather event on earth. Yes, the greatest leather event on earth. When I came on, or into, I guess, this community, or our family, or tribe, I noticed a lot of things were wrong, and that was we had been pushed to the side. In the spring of 1982, something happened. I'm not quite sure what it was, but it happened. It seemed that the elders in the community possibly had to form our own institutions, our own conferences. So, now we stand with groups and organizations such as the Leather Leadership Conference and the National Coalition for Sexual Freedom and the Leather Archives and Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we had to create our own political powerhouse. So now we do have a voice. We have a voice. We have a voice within the NGLTF Roundtable. We have a voice within the Selection Committee. We have a voice because we had to do it. We had to do it because all of you created it. The person that perhaps inspired me most to do this is a gentleman that I would like to introduce next. He is a very dear friend of mine, and his name is Joseph W.B.
It's worth getting introduced by Randy just to get a kiss from you, believe me. If you get a chance, try it. I'm getting a little embarrassed about begging. I don't know what to say about that. But I happen to be the executive director of the Leather Archives and Museum. So begging... Let's try that again. The Leather Archives and Museum. You don't know how right you are. We have gone from representing about 9 countries when I spoke to you last year to more than 30 this year. So we really, I mean, how many countries really have enough of a leather community to be contributed to a museum? Apparently right now the number is about 30. And you guys are making them do it. We keep getting letters from people saying, someone in Ohio wrote to me, I'm here in Morocco, and I thought you'd like this. It happens all the time, and it's because of you. But I need to point out something, and this is really simple. The Leather Archives and Museum is not my idea. And I did not found the Leather Archives and Museum. Neither did you. Much as it was done for you, you're not the beginning. The beginning was a couple of men, Chuck Renslow and Tony Duplass. When I look at the Leather You've seen it, haven't you? It blows me away. And people think I did it. I didn't do it. It was their idea. Chuck and Tony made it happen. And then what had to happen after Chuck and Tony was not me, but you. When we came to you last year, here tonight, about last year, and showed you the pictures of the building we were dreaming of owning, I had no idea how powerful you could be. But the truth is, we now own that building. And miracles have begun to happen there, thanks to you. Chuck and Tony, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Without them, none of it would have ever happened. But without you, none of it would have ever happened. No government institution, no foundation, no public reservoir of money has been involved. Every penny that has made the Leather Archives and Museum happen has come out of the pockets of leather folk. Leather men and leather women like you. Oh no, now comes the embarrassing part. We're still begging. And believe me, I can't wait for this to be over. But it's not over. I'm dreaming of paying off the mortgage in 2004, which means you're stuck with me for about like 4 more years. But at the moment, we're going to ask you one more time, as Jill did with so much more grace than I have last year, to poke around in your pockets. Find those singles and fives you intended to give to bartenders later tonight. Give them kisses instead. Believe me, most of them will get a lot of singles and fives. They won't get many kisses from people as marvelous as you. I'm gonna stay home tonight in order not to mess up your kiss giving. So we are going to ask you once again to help us because we have the building, but that means we have a mortgage. And if we can pay it off in August 2004, that's not that far away, guys. I mean, remember, I first dreamed of us owning a building in December 1997. That was yesterday, barely. I announced the capital campaign to buy a building in January of '98, imagining that it would take you guys 10 years to buy us a building. Well, it took you less than a year and a half. You would think that the geniuses of finance would be people who live on Wall Street. Instead, we live on Leather Street, USA, in every tiny community, from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to Arcadia, California. And we mean it when we say, we're here to stay, and you've got to get used to us. The neighborhood we have moved into was an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood not that long ago. And hey, we moved into their synagogue. They have not just gotten used to us, they have gotten to depend upon us to help them with the gangs, with the drugs, with the appearance of the neighborhood, with the block community, with the committees. We have become good neighbors, and we owe you possibly the right to do that. So somewhere out there are the men of discipline. These are the same guys guys who extorted money out of you last year. Are the house lights going to come up so that people can know when they're giving us $100 bill or a $5? I want both. I want you to give us the 100 and the 5. We have 4 years to pay off the mortgage. Let me make this real simple. If we pay off the mortgage by the refinance date in August 2004, you will save, you, the community, will save $813,000. That's worth the effort. Make the effort. There should be some we're doing this real cute this year. Is cute okay? We're doing it real cute. They're like archived storage boxes that are supposed to be like passed through the whole audience. And they have holes in the top like piggy banks. So you get to plug into all your childhood memories. I'm saving this money for what I want to grow up to be. Well, if you wanted to grow up to be happy, you're here. It's time to pay. I love you all. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, everybody, now it's time to get to the meat and potatoes of this contest. We're going to pick our 20 finalists. So as you know, our judges have reviewed all the contestants over the last 2 days during the interviews. Of course, last night's one physique competition. They've selected our 20 finalists out of those. Now, to announce the results of the preliminary judging, it gives me great pleasure to bring to the stage a dear, dear friend of mine and a legend to this leather community. Ladies and gentlemen, the columnist for the Bay Area Reporter, the one and the only, Mr. Marcus Hernandez.
I promise I would not make any mistakes this year. Everything is stapled. Huge letters, and each page is numbered. Some of you veterans may recall I've added names, left names out, got chewed my ass out by Tom. Chuck Reynolds has never said anything, so I guess it's all right. This is a stirring moment of the weekend. We had spent several hours with these men this weekend, and since the titles start rolling in from one end of the country to the other, I have been fortunate enough to judge many of them, and I got to know many of these gentlemen, and believe me, they had tough competition wherever they competed. The communities and the judges that community chose searched deep and hard to pick the judges that would send somebody to this auspicious event. It's not easy. It wasn't easy. It's never been easy. The hardest part for me is because I've judged so many of them. I know a lot of them closer than most of the other judges. Not all of them, but many of them. And I like to see them succeed. I coach them. I give them all the pointers that they'll need for the competition, and some of them took it, and some of them didn't. Some of them ignored it, some of them took it to heart, and really studied, and worked hard, and pumped up, and networked, and did all the things that it takes to be a leader and a winner. You know they want it when they do all these things. So, I am going to read this list. Believe me, they're all beautiful men who deserve the title. And we shall see what happens in the next year. One of the census items that our chief judge asked each contestant right off before we start the question was, how big is your dick? And I was taking notes, of course, and I want you to look up here. There is 85 feet of dangling meat up there. I don't want to keep you in suspense anymore, but I know everybody's sitting on the edge of their seats. And please, if you lose control of the bathrooms back there. Our first finalist of the evening is contestant number 28, Mr. Jeff Walker from Los Angeles, California. One of the greatest bars in our city, a bar with a legend who's almost as long as mine. In Denver, Colorado, Mr. Triangle Denver, T.C. Haskins. Our third finalist is somebody that I judged this contest. It was a very tough competition there in Y'all. He's the manager of the Phoenix Bar in New Orleans. Mr. Chuck Bell. Mr. Louisiana Mother. I don't know if any of you know that there's a movement in California to separate the state into two, and be NC and SC, not North Carolina and South Carolina, North California and Southern California. And San Francisco, of course, would be the capital of that one. I worked hard with a lot of these people, and this one especially because, of course, it's in my own backyard. Mr. San Francisco Leather, contestant number 16, Lance Gear. The great northwest of our country has a state by the name of Oregon, where there's a lot of leather activism. So please give it up for contestant number 4, Mr. Eagle Peters from Portland, Oregon, Tony Frazier. I also was privileged to judge this contest in a city to the north of our country. In Toronto, they have a beautiful organized leather community. Mr. Leatherman Toronto 2000, Esteban de Castro. Since this is an international competition, we have our first foreign contestant there, and it's any pretty. Our second foreign contestant, finalist, comes to us from Antwerp, Belgium. Sponsored by Mr. Boots, Mr. Wim Clemens, contestant 59. He's part of that 185 feet I was telling you about. Oh, here we go. Back to Europe. Mr. Leather Europe, Peter Wallace, contestant 17. You guys know the map of Canada, Mr. Leather Howard Howard. any of you remember who the winners were in 1993? Every American got shut out. Henry Tenham took the title. The first runner-up was from Australia, and the second runner-up was from Germany. So pay attention. Our next finalist is Mr. Leather Howland John Kenneberg. Back to the East Coast. Any of you ever been to the Red Town in Boston? Contestant 26, Bob Bear, Mr. Boston Leather. Heading southwest again, fasten your safety belts. You know, you've heard of Big D, it really doesn't mean Dick, it means Dallas. Mr. Dallas Leather, Mike Frazier. I was lucky to judge this contest too. Have you ever been to Columbus, Ohio? Last year's contestant from Columbus, Ohio was Maverick, and Maverick put this contest on a new one. Mr. Hotman Leather, Mike Frazier. Back to the West Coast. We're going north, south, east, or west. I think it's south this time. To the grill of the city of Long Beach, California. Mr. Scott Bloom. I think Northwest Airlines flies into the city. We're on a air trip right now. I'm on the air trip. We're going to Michigan. Contestant number 22, Lee Wheeler, Mr. Michigan Weather. Check your baggage. Did anybody have your luggage before you got here? We're going to Philadelphia. Yeah! Contestant 24, Mark Katie, Mr. Philadelphia. Okay, we're in Philadelphia. On our way south again. Here we go. Almost to the Gulf of Mexico. Fort Lauderdale, Mr. Steve Duvall, Mr. Fort Lauderdale Eagle. We're going north again. I don't know which airport. I think it's Ronald Reagan Airport, but we're going to DC. Mr. Gary Vanderbilt, Mr. Steve Eagle. Officer, I I left my luggage. It's in San Diego. It's in my checking out. And this is the final finalist. You're all here because you love Chicago, don't you?
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, your 20 finalists, International Mr. Leather 2000. Let's give them all a big round of applause. One of these gentlemen will be your winner, IML. Once again, let's give all our contestants a great round of applause. They did a fantastic job this evening, each and every one of them. Okay, everyone. We all know that in your package you have a brand new ticket to get your boots, shoes shine for this whole weekend. Of course, this is the time to announce the contestants for International Mr. Boot Black. And to do that, I'd like to bring to the stage the current International Mr. Boot Black, Mr. Bob Ehrlich. Let's give him a nice round of applause.
Thank you very much. I'd like to say hello and welcome this year's Boot Black segment of the IML Competition 2000, this being the 8th annual Boot Black competition. I am very proud to have served as your representative in the leather community as International Mr. Boot Black 1999. And on a personal note, if I may add, one hell of a community it is, brother, sister, indeed, a family. Upon being given this honor 1 year ago, I decided to put forth some goals. These goals being to bring about dignity and respect for and of all boot blacks, and the same given in return, in respect to the pride and craftsmanship that is the art of boot blacking. I also sought to improve the boot black competition itself. And in January of this year, I was given the opportunity and honor of coordinating the Mid-Atlantic Boot Black competition. It was the first of its kind inasmuch as it combined both ballots and judging. Traditionally, boot black competitions have been based on ballots alone. In this competition, we brought in some of the finest boot blacks in the USA to judge, including International Mr. Boot Black 1998, Mr. Matthew Duncan, International Ms. Boot Black 1999, Ms. Leslie Anderson, and Mid-Atlantic Boot Black 1999, Ms. Tracy Black. And that's just to name a few. The judging at the Mid-Atlantic Leather was done in 4 categories, including physical skills, social skills, general knowledge, and presentation. It was perceived and received very well by everyone, and most important, is to me anyway, by the boot black contestants themselves. Therefore, I am very pleased to announce that starting next year, in 2001, International Mr. Leather and International Ms. Leather will be incorporating a new system, combining ballots and judging. The purpose of this is to bring to you the best in quality boot blacks. It provides the opportunity to reward the craftsmanship and the fine art that the boot black has worked so very hard to define. Quality should never be left unrewarded. I would like to take a moment to thank Mr. Chuck Renslow and Mr. Bill Stott of International Ms. Leather, as well as Ms. Amy Marie Meek of International Ms. Leather and staff, as well as Randy Brown of the community for bringing about these changes. I would like to take a moment to introduce somebody I mentioned just a moment ago. I would like to bring forth on the stage who will be presenting the awards. The first, International Ms. Leather Blue Black, Ms. Leslie Anderson. Now on to the contestants. These boot blacks worked very hard to service your boots over the weekend and did one terrific job. The competition was very close, and I'm very proud of each and every one of them. These gentlemen have earned your respect, and I would like for you to give it up for, and I do mean give it up for, each one of these gentlemen. May I introduce contestant number 1 from Decatur, Illinois, who is representing the Flashback Lounge, Mr. Gregory Ewart. And contestant number 2, who is from Cleveland, Ohio, who is representing Lost Leather and the Tool Shed, may I introduce Mr. Arthur Fooney. And next, I would like to introduce contestant number 3 from Richmond, Virginia, who is representing the Centaur MC, Washington, D.C., and the Richmond Leather Club, Mr. David Fox. And next, I can introduce contestant number 4 from Taylor, Michigan, who is representing the R&R Saloon and Mr. Leather, Michigan, Mr. Gregory Hansen. And last but not certainly least, contestant number 5 from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who is representing Fetishes Boutique, may I introduce Mr. Eric Lane. I would like to begin by presenting a very special award, which is the Boot Black Brotherhood Award. This is a certificate and weekend package for Mid-Atlantic Leather 2001 from my hometown of Washington, D.C. This weekend package was given by the Centaur MC, promoting what I believe is their very essence, that of brotherhood. I would like to extend my hand and heartfelt thank you to the Centaur MC for this. You guys do really well. The Boot Black Brotherhood Award is chosen by the contestants themselves, bringing to light one contestant that has brought forth and embodied the spirit of brotherhood. And that person would be contestant number 3 from Richmond, Virginia, representing the Centaur MC, and now on to the main event. I'd like to introduce the second runner-up, which is contestant number 5 from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who is representing Fetishes Boutique. And the first runner-up from Cleveland, Ohio, is representing Lost Leather and Tool Shed, Mr. Arthur Fooney. And of course, at that moment, I'd like to introduce the all-new International Mr. Leather Blue Black 2000. That would be contestant number 3 from Richmond.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new International Mr. Boot Black Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to bring to the stage my good buddy, my wonderful co-MC Tom Stice, who's going to bring our first group of contestants in the speech and letter image category. It's good to be back. I've been having fun backstage. The contestants are getting into their job scraps. I didn't waste the time. I'd also like to thank the Trough and Foreskins Leather for providing me with this outfit, and the German motorcycle policeman who used to wear it. He's been the source of several of my fantasies. So, who's having a good time tonight? 4 or 5 of you? Anyone else having a great time tonight? The rest of you are too busy making out to respond. Anyone, it's your first time here at IML? Amy and Tom are raising their hands. That's great. Well, let's welcome everybody who it's their first time here at IML. I am sure it will not be your last. I'd also like to thank our sign interpreters tonight. IML seems to have the sexiest sign interpreters. And as you know, I have the best view. He's wearing 2 zippers up the back. I'm not sure what he said, but it looks sexy. Well, let's get right into the speech and leather image category. Please welcome to the stage contestant number 3, Steve Duvall. Steve is Mr. Fort Lauderdale Eagle, and he's sponsored by the Fort Lauderdale Eagle in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Men and women of the tribe, we are gathered here once again in the beautiful city of Chicago, Illinois, to celebrate the grandest version of the greatest vision of who we are as a leather nation. And while we celebrate our uniqueness and our diversity, let us not forget our one common heart, our one common passion, and our one common journey out of the darkness of oppression and fear and into the light and the love of our unique self-expression. This Memorial Day weekend, let us remember those men and women who have gone on before us and who have passed on the torch to us as we carry the light into the new millennium. We have the power and we have the pride. Let us unite with one voice of honor and integrity. Let us continue to realize the victories that we've had in the past year in the areas of domestic partnership legislation, civil unions, and even gay marriage. Let us continue to elect to public office those men and women that represent us locally, nationally, and internationally. If you choose me as the next International Mr. Leather, I would ask that you would keep me in your heart and mind as I carry out the agenda and the platform of the leather community worldwide. And
Ladies and gentlemen, that's contestant number 3, Steve Duvall, Mr. Fort Lauderdale Eagle from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Let's bring to the stage contestant number 4, Tony Frazier. Tony is Mr. Eagle PDX. He's sponsored by the Eagle PDX of Portland, Oregon. I'd like to say to all the gay servicemen and maybe the audience tonight, it's okay to be gay. You have the right to express your sexuality and independence. You have the right to love. Be careful, but don't be afraid to love. Don't ask, don't tell means just that. No one has the right to tell you you can't love.
Just because you love someone of the same sex doesn't make you less of a soldier. If anything, it makes you better. I've had the opportunity to serve with several gay men in the military, and they were the epitome of what a professional soldier should be. They didn't carry themselves as bitter men and women, angry because they couldn't express their sexuality publicly, but they carried themselves with pride and respect. Respect for themselves, others, and their country. Don't ask, don't tell is over. It's gone. Means nothing. Our characters are based upon who we are inside and not who we sleep with. So to our comrades in arms, I say, don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to share. Definitely, don't be afraid to care. No one has the right to take away your right to individuality and your self-sexual expression.
Thank you. That's contestant number 4, Tony Frazier, Mr. Eagle PDX, sponsored by the Eagle PDX of Portland, Oregon. Next, let's bring to the stage for the speech and image category, contestant number 7, Mr. T.C. Haskins. He's Mr. Triangle Denver, sponsored by the Triangle of Denver, Colorado.
Good evening, Chicago. Somebody last night asked me down at the Congress Hotel what was my favorite part of being here at IML. I have to admit, my favorite part is the brotherhood of all of you sitting out there now, and my contestants that I participated in this contest with, and my 10 brother of 10. We had a great time doing this, and there's been a lot of brotherhood, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of togetherness, and that's one thing I'd like very, very much to ask all of you out there. When you go back to your hometowns tonight, take what you have learned, what you feel from your heart, what you have asked, take it back to your communities. Tell them that we are good people. We do a lot for our communities. We stand tall, we stand proud, and we do everything it takes to accomplish what we need to be done. Take that brotherhood, take that love, take it from your heart, take it back to your community. Show just not the gay community, show the straight community. We got a lot of love in here. We got a lot of heart, we got a lot of care. So please, when you leave here, take that back to your hometown. Thank you very much.
And thank you, contestant number 7, T.C. Haskins, Mr. Triangle from Denver, Colorado. Let's welcome to the stage contestant number 17, Peter Wallace. He's Mr. Leather Europe from Oslo, Norway.
I was sitting in my hotel room this morning and I was thinking about this speech, and I wanted to tell you how much I was excited by the top of Finland picture when I was a young child in Sweden. And I wanted to tell you that I was thinking about this wonderful sexy man with big butts, big dicks, and big breasts. I was very excited about that. And I wanted to say so much more things, but then it came to my mind because the most important thing in life is to have fun and enjoy life. And I was thinking about my lovely neighbor, 84, old year in Britain. And I used to meet her on the stairs every day. And she says, Peter, how are you doing? Do I disturb you with my radio playing at night? And I usually say, no, you don't. But I'm playing very loud music, she says. It's okay for me, I don't care, I sleep anyway. That's like, right, Peter, she says, I like you very much. And she always say, enjoy life, live life. And I like her very much. And that's what I want to say to you too. I want you to live your life, explore it, have fun. And this weekend we're going to play, we're going to have good sex, meet friends, new friends, old friends, and enjoy all time together. So play it hard and stay wet.
Thank you. That's contestant number 17, Mr. Leather Europe Let's bring to the stage contestant number 22, Lee Wheeler. Lee is Mr. Michigan Wheeler.
I come here today presenting myself at your service. We as gay people are victims of apartheid based on ignorance and dogma, but we can change that. Together, we can make great strides in overcoming fear and ignorance. It's about perception and education. We must capture the minds, hearts, and imagination of the public. As more and more gay men and women engage in conversation with their parents, siblings, extended family members, and co-workers, maybe we can gain a growing amount of sensitivity and support. The leather community prides itself on being non-racist, non-ageist, and non-sexist. Leather has increased my awareness of myself. I am glad I could learn to be an individual and have the strength and courage to take challenges and risks, even in the face of the unknown, to learn and to grow and to become a stronger person. I am creating my life one positive memory at a time. How can I be of any use to you? Give me the chance and I will show you. In the words of George Washington Carver, how far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of those weaker than you, because someday you will be all of these. Thank you.
And thank you, contestant number 22, Lee Wheeler, Mr. Michigan Wheeler, sponsored by the Backyard Cinemas from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Let's bring to the stage contestant number 24, Mark Cady. Mark is Mr. Philadelphia. He's sponsored by the Bike Stop of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here tonight, and I want to say thank you to the judges and our incredible staff, but most importantly, I'd like to say thank you to my better half, Michael, out there. It's very important that we take charge of what's going on now. You know, I was only 5 years old when Stonewall happened. Yeah, imagine that. We have to think about our future. We have to think about the future generation, those young people, young men and women who are going to come after us. I think about those drag queens that made an impression in New York. They did something for me. And now it's my opportunity and all of our opportunity to do something for the people, for the children that are 4 and 5 years old today that are going to discover themselves in the next 15 years. Hillary Clinton said it very, very well. She said, it takes a village. It takes a community. If all of us move together as a force and we push and push and push, nobody will be able to stand in our way. And in the words of John F. Kennedy, ask not what your community can do for you, but what you can do for the community. Thank you.
Let's bring to the stage contestant number 26, Mr. Bob Puppy Petter. He's Mr. Boston Leather. He's sponsored by CRC Associates from Boston, Massachusetts.
I was with Judy Collins a few weeks ago. She sent her best. She was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award for battling cancer. And I had a chance to talk with her about my battle with AIDS, losing my vision, being a puppy, and coming to Chicago for IML. She said, what I enjoyed most about your story was seeing the pride jump off your face. Our community has accomplished so much, and we have much to be prideful for. And although I can't see the pride in your face, I feel it. So I'd like to honor that pride by singing the song Judy recorded in 1971. Please sing along. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
to contestant number 26, Bob Puppy Leather, Mr. Boston Leather from Boston, Massachusetts. Let's bring to the stage contestant number 28, Jeff Walker. He's Mr. LA Leather. He's sponsored by the Los Angeles Leather Coalition out of Los Angeles, California.
Good evening. I have a confession. I'm a bottomless pit. Seems no matter how much I learn, I want to learn more. I'd like to share with you just a few things that I've learned the past year. I've learned that the women in our leather community are a very strong and vital source of power, and the support they give the men in the community is tremendous. I've learned that no matter how much you love someone, once they raise their hand against you in anger, you can never truly feel safe with them again. In my case, it wasn't a hand. It was a length of pipe that left me unconscious and with a concussion. There are other means. There's verbal, and there's physical, and there's mental. But it's the same end result. You need to get out. I've learned with the support of your community and working together as a group, you can do some many wonderful and powerful things. The people look to me in my community as a teacher, and I'm comfortable with that role. But I am now, and I always will be, a student. And I look to you, my community, to help me continue my learning. Thank you.
And thank you, contestant number 28, Mr. LA Leather, sponsored by the Los Angeles Leather Coalition from Los Angeles, California. Let's bring to the stage contestant number 36, Mike Taylor. He's Mr. Heartland Leather. And he's sponsored by Heartland Leather Productions of Columbus, Ohio.
As I look out to all of you, I see so much more than different groups of older new guard, straight or gay, pansexual, whatever label gets in our way to divide us. Because I see everyone I love, everyone who's taught me, I see my family. And I know a family loves, a tribe teaches, a clan fights for its own, and people of the same nation give respect. So let me ask you this. Should we not respect the elders of the tribe? These men and women who fought like warriors for us, and then who had been buried. So many of our dead. And this next generation I know deserves the same respect, for they are our future, and a people that don't change will disappear. And look around you. Could you as brothers and sisters be any more different? So yeah, we're gonna fight, because brothers and sisters fight. You remain family. And I love that I get to say this here in Chicago, the home of our family album, The Leather Archives. That I have the gift to be alive here today at IML, our greatest annual family reunion. So let us stand together, face the new century, remember, this is our family, this is our fight, and this is our party. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 36, Mike Taylor, Mr. Heartland Leather, from Columbus, Ohio, sponsored by Heartland Leather Productions. Next, let's bring to the stage contestant number 37, Gary Vanderventer. He's Mr. DC Eagle, and he's sponsored by the DC Eagle from Washington, DC.
In the words of George Bernard Shaw, it's my opinion that I owe my life to my community. It is my privilege to work in whatever manner possible every day of my life for that community. When I die, I want to be used up because by working hard, I live more. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no mere candle to me. It is a shining beacon, a torch. A torch that I want to burn brightly before I pass it on to future generations. Can any of us deny that we've been granted that same privilege? Will each of us strive together for the betterment of our community, to build our global leather spirit? Let us rejoice in our leather existence. Let us cherish our diversity while we respect our differences. Let us honor those who have gone before us while we anticipate the future. Let us live our lives together so brightly that we leave a bright bonfire for those coming after us.
Thank you, contestant number 37, Gary Van Deventer, Mr. DC Eagle, who's sponsored by the DC Eagle from Washington, D.C. And that rounds out your first 10 contestants in the speech and leather image category. Let's give them all a great big hand. I think the proof too that not only the handsome and hot was that 85 feet, Mr. Marcus? Was that AOL feet? With 62 contestants at 85 feet, they're all over 12 inches. And speaking of hot beef, are you ready to see some hot beef? Well, then I'll bring to the stage my co-host for the evening, Mr. Frank Nowicki, to present the next 10 in the physique competition. Okay, everyone. Are you ready to see some hot men? Let's hear it up, come on, they're all backstage waiting. Okay, here we go. Contestant number 43, Mr. Ottawa Hall, Howard Ho. Howard is 170 centimeters tall. He weighs 149 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes.
He weighs 180 pounds. He has black hair and blue eyes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 58, Mark Chipman, Mr. San Diego Lumber. Mark is 6 foot 1 inches tall. He weighs 210 pounds. He has brown hair and it's shaved, and he has hazel eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, our final contestant in the C category for this first group, please welcome to the stage Mr. San Francisco Leather, contestant number 60, Lance Gear. Lance is 5 foot 11 inches tall. He weighs 185 pounds. He has brown eyes. So let's hear it for all those wonderful contestants on the same competition. What do you think? Is that deep or what? But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're all going to cool off because we're taking a quick 15-minute intermission. So go back, refresh your cocktails. Remember the photographer out in the front there to get your mental pictures taken. We'll see you in about